What's up, everybody? This is Tempest. How's everybody doing? Thought I'd make a video about Riot's release on Rift Rivals, which is a international tournament that is basically going to replace IEM because they said that I don't know who said it, but basically League of Legends is not going to participate in IEMs anymore. As far as the scheduling goes, so this takes place in July during a week. I don't know if they'll just take out a week of the LCS or LMS or LCK or whatever and just have this in there. But I think that's definitely good. I thought IEMs were always at really weird times because it was sort of like playing chicken to see like who is gonna like bail out at the last second. Because like if you're at Worlds, you're probably also going to be at these IEMs because you're a good team. You're like a top team in your region, and at that point, you're basically like tinkering with your lineup. The players need rest. There's not that much time in between Worlds and the spring split as it is, so these teams don't want to fucking go to these IEMs. So if it's like in the middle of like the summer split, the team's already engaged, you're in good form, you know, you're moving and grooving. And it's only like over the course of a week, whereas IEM there's like one in November and one in December. So this is like quick and dirty international shit. I know other esports have more international things and international tournaments, and I think that's definitely good. It keeps it interesting to see how regions stack up against each other. This seems to be more kind of like fun, not really serious, because like MSI is obviously serious because how you do it, MSI determines your seeding at Worlds, and obviously Worlds is serious. So this is sort of more fun, and it's putting certain regions against certain other regions. So might already have an idea against who might be going against who. Alright, so here is the map. Here's the Rift Rivals map. And I'm going to be completely honest, I only care about 2 of these 5 events. NA versus EU, who saw that one coming? That's, you know, the classic. I remember a couple of years ago they did Battle of the Atlantic, which was pretty much the same thing, and that was hype, and then they just stopped doing that, and I was like, damn, why'd they stop doing that? So, hey, they listened to Uncle Tempest on this one, and they're bringing it back. Yeah, don't care about BR, don't care about Ho Chi Minh City, and don't care about Russia. And then the other one, this one's going to be a big one, LCK, LPL, and LMS all in one. So these 2 will be hot, for sure. And I think they're just trying to promote these other dinky regions. Who is even good? I mean, I know Gigabyte Marines are good in the GPL is the Vietnamese. I don't know which one is even the Vietnamese one, but yeah, I don't think these other 3 are going to be big. But hey, you know what? They're going for it. It's their money, not mine. Okay, so moving on to North America versus Europe. Okay, so this is my second attempt making this video because the first time I tried making this video, I got to the format and I just stared at it for like 15 minutes and I was like, what the fuck is this? So here's where things get a little fucky. I think the EU NA one isn't that bad, so I'll do my best to break it down and give my thoughts and shit. All right, so basically it's top 3 teams from NA, EU. So there's 6 teams total. In the first stage, each team will play the other 3 teams from the opposite region. So basically, you're not playing any teams from your own region. So, and number 1 NA, that's TSM. So TSM is going to play all 3. You know, Cloud9 is going to play all 3. P1 is going to play all 3 European teams, and same thing. So basically, you'll have a score out of 3 games. And then that will seed you into the finals. So basically, they call this stage the last man standing. I call it King of the Hill. Basically, determined on this stage, the lowest ranked from each region will play each other, and then basically if EU wins, they'll send in the next biggest NA team, and then if NA wins, they'll send in the next biggest EU team, and so on and so forth. So basically, in theory, NA number 3 could beat all 3. It could just send them down the line. They send in Fnatic, they're done. They send in Unicorns of Love, they're toast. And P1 is just fucking up G2, so G2's out of there, and then P1 defends NA's honor on its own. Or it could go all the way down to this Game 5, where they go tit for tat all the way down the bingo board. Thoughts on this seeding? I think this is fine. I think it's a little weird over here because, in theory, all the EU teams could go 3-0 and all the NA teams could go 0-3 and vice versa, and then how do you seed that? So I think the seeding could get kind of fucked just because there's not a... What am I trying to say? Is it independent variable? Like one team's score is not determined on the other team, completely on the other team losing because they're not all in the same group. If that makes any sense. So my mind just leapt there. That probably won't happen, but if it does, haha, that'll be weird. And then this part's fine. So the Battle of Atlantic was the one they had a couple years back, and I kind of like that one better, where it was head to head. So it's like number 1 NA versus number 1 EU. Number 2 NA versus number 2 EU, and so on and so forth. And I think they did it with like the top 5. And then basically, I think the top games, the top seeds were worth more. But if you won, you got like a point, and then whoever had the most points won. That was more like direct, like. And I guess you're kind of doing this here. They just want to see more games basically, and then they're doing this King of the Hill style over here. So yeah, I think that'll be fine. And I'm going to skip... Oh, yeah, and I was somewhat going to do like a prediction, but I guess we don't really know what the lineups are going to be in July. I don't think... I think TSM will be the same, but they'll have double lift, so they'll probably be pretty fucking good. I don't think Cloud9 is changing anything, and P1, who knows. And then I don't see why G2 would change their lineup, and then I don't know about UOL or Fnatic, so... who's to say, really? And then I'm not going to know how well they're doing in the split. So I'm not going to do a prediction. We're going to skip that. I'm also going to skip these other dinky regions. No offense, BR. No offense, Vietnam and Russia. I'm going to skip that because I'm not going to watch these. I'm not going to give a shit about these. And these formats look confusing, so I'm not even going to worry about it. All right, this is the one that really gave me pause. This one, it could go well. It could go bad. So Korea, Taiwan, and China. So the first thing I thought was weird is that not only are there 3 regions instead of 2, but there's 4 teams instead of 3. I would think that if there were less regions, there'd be more teams and vice versa. So it's kind of more parallel, but nope. Not only now they know that these Asian teams probably have they have more talent in the top team. So they're sending in 4 apiece, which I think is great. For Korea, I think Korea definitely has more than 3 really good teams. Well, maybe the 4th. I think the 4th is like MVP. I'm not sure how good they are. And I don't know. I feel like LMS really has only had 2 really good teams. LPL, who fucking knows. But hey, more teams, the better. You get to see more players against other people. So that's fine. But the fact that there's so many teams and 3 different regions makes the format a clusterfuck. So that's the downside, and I'm going to go through this now that I actually know what the fuck's going on. Okay, so starting out is the format. So the group stage is, they call it a round robin. I guess it is a round robin. So basically, when I was talking about Battle of the Atlantic, it was number 1 seed from NA plays number 1 seed from EU and down the line. That's what they're doing here, and it's going to be from seed 1 to 4 because there's 4 teams. So here they're saying, like, it's LCK versus LMS, 4 games. LCK versus LPL, 4 games. And then LPL versus LMS, 4 games. So basically, yeah, they're doing the head-to-head based on seeding, and they're making sure that each region plays the other 2. And I guess you're going to have a regional score based on that. So I'm gonna go on a limb here and say Korea has the best head-to-head score, and they're gonna advance to the finals. And then the semifinals is, and this is the part that really tripped me up. They're calling it a relay best of 5, which I guess that makes the most sense. I guess that's what you call it. And it's the same format, and I'm just going to go and kind of skip to the finals because the finals is also a relay best of 5. And they kind of did a good job of explaining it here, but it stumped me for a bit. Okay, basically... Okay, so... How do I explain this? So, alright, so in the semifinals, I said Korea would go on to the finals. So semifinals is going to be China versus Taiwan. So basically, it's a regional best of 5. So, but you can choose any team to play any team. But the caveat is no team can play more than once. So, basically, the coach, and I think the coaches are deciding this. So let's say China coach is like, I'm gonna send in my first seed team, and then the Taiwan coach is like, I'm gonna send in my 4th seed team. And then those two play. And then depending on who wins, they're like, oh shit, who should I send in next? And I don't know if it's like blind. Like, I don't know if they're going to know who's going against who. But here's the example. So, yeah, like seed 3 plays 2, 1 plays 3. And it could go to 5. That's why you can't play more than twice. Is because someone's going to, if you're playing for all 5 games, there's only 4 regions. So some team is going to have to repeat. So... It says matchup is determined by coaches from both sides, and matchup order is determined by coaches from both sides. So it sounds like they're trying to make it like a predetermined order, not sort of like a fucking Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel where you're trying to counter each other with a certain team. I don't know. I think that would be really cool if it's like, I'm just like, you just try to guess what other team is going to be sent out and fucking... I don't know. That there's not really any strategy in that. I'm already digressing. But yeah, that's kind of the way I think about it. Is I imagine the coaches are like, it's like 2 guys playing Yu-Gi-Oh! They each have 4 cards in their deck, and they both choose one at a time to send out. So it's like War, I guess, not Yu-Gi-Oh! But they have 4 cards, and they send them out one at a time, and then they have to repeat a card if there's a 5th game, once their deck has been spent. So yeah. This is going to be interesting. This is completely different. I kind of want to... I mean, NA versus EU head-to-head is cool. I don't know if there's as much of a... I guess there is somewhat of a rivalry here. I kind of... For this one, since there's twice as many teams, 12 teams, I would have rather just seen like an IEM format with like double M. Maybe that's boring. Bleh. Might as well just go to IEM at that point. But yeah, this could be cool. I think this stage will be the most telling. I think this will be interesting. Just going head to head. So it'll be like SK Telecom plays Flash Wolves, and then like Flash Wolves plays SK Telecom and WE. Right, so that's kind of going to be like a repeat of MSI at some point, but for the first seed. But basically, you get to see like. It's like a mini MSI, but it's like, what if there's an MSI with all of the 2nd tier teams and 3rd tier and 4th tier? So I think that's cool because, I mean, MSI is great, but it's like, yeah, like SK Telecom's going to be there every year, and Flash Wolf's probably going to be there every year, and fucking G2 and TSM are usually there. So I get tired of all the usual suspects. So this is like a more deep cut into the region, which I like. The format seems completely fucky. I think, you know what, I think this will be like a good test run. We'll see, Riot. We'll see how this one goes, buddy. And I think hopefully they'll learn from this and they'll see what happens in the future. So I'm excited. It should be a great time. Yeah, that's my thoughts on this. So Tempest out.